This is Dan Ferrisi, editor of Sound and Communications Magazine. Happy to be joined by Bob Boster, president of ClearCom. Thank you for joining me, Bob.
Absolutely. Happy to be here, Dan.
Obviously, the topic of conversation is COVID-19, as everything has been so far in this video interview series. It's pretty much sucked the oxygen out of the room, so to speak. How has ClearCom responded organizationally in terms of what it has been doing? Are people under strict work from home orders, any shutdowns of facilities? How have you changed operationally and adapted to the governor and federal orders?
Sure. Well, we've been, I think, very aggressive from the beginning of this with senior management addressing the concerns of the business from the outset. We started off with a senior business leaders task force meeting daily right at the beginning. Even before the initial shelter-in-place orders in the U.S., that team was meeting daily and starting to pull together plans. As I think you may know, but maybe not all your viewers know, we manufacture in the United States. So our facility in Carlsbad is a shared factory between ourselves and one of the other companies that are owned by HME, where we manufacture about 95% of our products in that location. So the concerns about what to do and how to continue to address business needs were absolutely at the top of everyone's mind, and making sure that we were in a position to respond in a way that would keep everybody safe and still understand and meet our business needs for our customers. Fortunately, both our business as well as the other company that shares our factory facility are both ruled as being essential businesses. In the case of ClearCom, it's because we serve a number of market areas that are deemed essential, media and communications in the broadcast space being one of them, national security being another important one, and then of course we do some work in the energy sector, which is also critical at this point. And we have a handful of applications in some medical situations, which has been expanding under this time period. So all of those were deemed essential, and so we quickly moved to basically spread everyone out in our factory and develop a testing and cleaning regime so that we could respond in the factory appropriately. So we're continuing to manufacture, we're continuing to repair, and those people are coming into facilities that are the facilities where that work is being done. And everyone else who could work from home had been routed to work from home. That's been very successful at this point. We haven't had any, knock wood, we haven't had any concerns with anyone coming down with the illness from COVID-19. And we've been very successful at keeping everybody safe and still being able to manufacture and repair product. And everyone else is beavering away at other business activities that they would normally be working on, but in a decentralized way that I think is very much like what you and I are doing here.
Well, it's fantastic to hear that operations are still going strong and you've been able to adapt in such a way that protects your employees and your team, while at the same time helping to serve your customers and your clients. And I do think it's important to underscore, as you mentioned, the American manufacturing, which is a really nice point of distinction that not everyone can speak to. As far as supply chain, though, getting raw materials, things of that nature, has there been any diminution whatsoever in your ability to get products made and shipped out? Obviously, ClearCom products are always in high demand. So has there been any diminution in your ability whatsoever to get products into the waiting hands of your clients?
So far, we haven't had any supply issues. I think part of that is because we tend to build up a little bit at the for components, really, because that's what we're talking about, because we manufacture, again, in our own facility. So we're really talking about, components largely. We normally stock up in the run up to the Lunar New Year. So we were in a pretty good position in terms of what we were holding on the shelf at the point at which things were starting to become clear that they were impacting China and some of the other countries in Asia. So we've been fortunate. I would say that we've had a few situations in which shipments have slipped by, let's say, days. But we have not had a situation where we've had to go line down on any of our products because of material issues. So while we're juggling things perhaps a bit more than we might otherwise, it hasn't affected our ability to meet our customers' needs. And nor do I anticipate one at this point, because things are starting to come back up to normal operation on that front in terms of getting materials.
So being the head of what is a pretty prominent company in the commercial AV industry, people probably turn to you and those like you for words of advice, words of wisdom as we all struggle through this situation. I think ClearCom has been a pretty strong example of how to power through and rise above the challenges to try to be flexible and adapt as necessary. What would you say to your commercial AV peers, be they integrators or consultants, be they competitors, be they other manufacturers, about how to rise above and get your name out there and keep your operations going?
Well, I think the most important thing for us, and this is part of how we've approached business throughout our 50+ year history, is try to solve problems for people. In this particular instance and at this time, those problems are more challenging than ever. So I think providing support, being able to listen to people and hear what their challenges are and being able to respond to those and address those. Think creatively about how to use our suite of solutions and our capabilities to address people's challenges. All of those sort of folded in together kind of land us where we are, which is, you know, pick up the phone, help people out, and you'll be surprised at how much work there is to actually do in the face of this kind of challenge. It may not be in the same pace of business, and it may not be necessarily the same scale or scope of commercial opportunity that it was before, but people need help. And if you can provide it, then I think they're going to be able to recognize that engagement from you moving forward, and you know, come to a manufacturer or manufacturers or technologies where you can bend and flex those solutions to meet various people's needs, because people may not be in a position to make a full-fledged investment in a brand new complete replacement of a given system. It might be a situation where your ability to help them is going to be, in fact, adding no new product, just using things that they have on the shelf in a different kind of way. So it's going to be a challenging business time, I think, for a lot of people. But for people who are able to think creatively and to keep focused on delivering, you know, what the customer's needs are in these challenging moments, I think there's going to be an opportunity to continue to advance their business.
I agree completely. And that kind of harks back to a piece you wrote for Sound and Communications actually 2 or 3 months ago about thinking creatively and thinking outside the box and maintaining the innovative spirit that has been the hallmark of our industry. So it seems
Absolutely.
very much of a piece with what the flag you've been flying for a while about innovation and creativity and not doing anything in a cookie cutter or paint by numbers kind of a way.
Yep, for sure.
Well, thank you so much, Bob, for taking the time. I really do appreciate you giving us a few moments. Thank you for the insights and the wisdom. This is Dan Ferrisi, editor with Sound and Communications Magazine. Happy to have been joined by Bob Boster, president of ClearCom. Thank you very much.